Welcome back to Driven Channel, and we're here with a very special guests. A couple, power couple. and one thing about you both is that you are like you do everything together. Like you work together, business partners, lovers. You do self-improvement together.
We do.
Yes. And those are my 3 checks for a woman. Like if I want to find the right woman, like let's say going back 20 years ago, right? I'm looking for the right woman. I find all the wrong women because they don't fit these 3 checks. And you guys fit the 3 checks. And the 3 checks for a woman, like if you want to find a high value woman, in my eyes, in my the way I feel, the woman has to be into working out, into self-improvement, and into working hard.
Right.
So because most of the times, like at least for me, when I used to date a lot, the girl didn't want to go to the office because I would be busy in the office working, and I would be like, hey, come help me work, and then we'll hang out after. No. Hey, let's go to the gym at 4 a.m. No. Hey, I'm gonna go to the seminar this weekend. Come with me. No. Like let's hang out when you finish this seminar or the workout. Let's hang out for fun. But you both, like you do all of that, and I think that makes you very successful in business. So I want to let you
introduce
yourselves, what you do, who you are. But I find that makes you more powerful because you work out together, you work together, and you do self-improvement together. I don't know if you want to say something before you let them talk.
I'll let you guys introduce yourselves and then we'll get started.
Yeah, but you give them a good intro.
You did. That was a good intro.
Well, thank you.
And you guys are cool and fun too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And good looking. Don't forget. Good looking.
That's important.
That's very important. Yeah.
Yeah. Amanda, a lot more good looking.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. I'm not going to disagree on that one. But no, thank you guys for having us.
Yeah.
This is our first time here, and we're honored to be with you guys. My name is Boris Palomino. I'm co-owner, and founder of Palomino Residential Care. We own senior living facilities here in California.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, yes, we do a lot together, sometimes too much. Now, I'm going to clarify one point. We don't work out together. We walk into the gym together, but then we pretend like we don't know each other.
Separate ways.
She's not going to help me do the reps or any of that.
He thinks he can train me. That's why I'm like.
Oh, no. I'm not one of those guys.
Well, she got in the best shape of her life when I trained her. I trained her. I got her to quit alcohol for a year. I took her to the Virgin Islands, and she was like in the best shape ever.
It was the vacation, right? That's your motivator.
I told her. I mean, this is extra information, but I told her, hey babe, I'm gonna get you your boobs done, but you can't drink for a year, and I'm gonna train you. So I did that, and then it worked out.
Yeah, that's a true story. I'm like, I'm down. I can totally not drink for a year. Right after, we got him done and didn't drink for a year.
Wow.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Then I was pregnant a year later, but yeah.
Well, How about
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Amanda Palomino, the other co-founder of Palomino Residential Care, and yeah, we own senior living facilities here in LA. We've owned our business now for 9 years, and we love what we do, caring for our seniors.
Nice.
How do you two have such a perfect life and marriage where you never fight, never problems?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That's not true.
We just
That's
we
gonna be-
just argued this morning, actually.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be part of our 5K mastermind.
Yeah.
So, sign up. I'm just kidding. Everybody thinks that, we get a lot of people that are.
I never seen you both mad at each other.
We do a good job of hiding it.
No,
This morning the fur was flying.
Yeah.
I like to call it the fur flies.
So I always like to say, when you work a typical 9 to 5 and you have issues with your colleague or coworker in the office, you get to go home and vent to your spouse. Oh my God, so-and-so, guess what he did today?
Right.
Well, this is my colleague. I can't go home and
venting
and vent to him about him.
Right.
So we are forced to communicate and work on our issues.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because while others probably go, I'm sure a lot of people go home and they're like, fucking Albert motherfucker. Like I just, like, they go talk to their significant others and they're probably like, he's such an asshole and
Yeah.
fuck him, fuck her. And you're right. Like, as business owners, after all the abuse that we go through the whole day,
Yeah.
then we got to go home and abuse ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't believe. So like, we're like, I can't believe this person didn't do this, didn't complete this, da 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 da.
Yeah.
So then it's like almost like we have to like go home and then fight about everything that happened.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, for us, back to your point, yeah, there's times where we get on each other's nerves and we
Right,
argue
that's
and fight.
normal.
Of
Yeah.
course.
But it's really important to separate two things. One is business, one is our family.
Yeah.
And there's times where we'll have business fights, but we can transfer that over into the family.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that affects our kids. We have 2 kids. We have 2 wonderful kids, 7 and 9. Love my kids. They drive me nuts, but whatever. And vice versa, where you have business things, your family things. You can't bring them into the business.
Right.
So you just have 2 kids
We have
at
2
home?
kids, Yeah.
Yes.
And are you thinking about a third one?
Oh no, that ship has sailed. No, we're
No,
done.
we are so done. I have a thing about being outnumbered.
Oh,
You
girl,
go to a
you're
theme
telling
park.
me?
Yes, you have 3. How do you do rides at a
Us
theme
this
park?
weekend, and then Callie can't even get on anything at Universal.
Yeah.
It's definitely a problem. So we might go for the 4th in the future.
Wow.
But as of now, 3 is a lot. I say 1 is easy. 2
I
is
think you
easy.
should have 10.
Well,
He is crazy.
too late.
Congratulations.
Right.
I'm really happy for you.
So wait, too late. You can't have any more?
No.
No?
No. The day after my son was
Yeah.
born,
Yeah.
I'm like, doctor.
How do we take care of
It's
that?
But you could plug it back.
Yeah, I don't want to. I want a Ferrari like you. No, it's not gonna happen.
Well,
Yeah,
kids
no.
help you make more money.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to agree with you there, and this is why. When we started our first facility 9 years ago, my daughter was a year old, and that's when we decided as a family to move out of our home into a 300 square foot room with my daughter just to start our first business, because we live in California, can't afford another house to start a business in.
Right.
But when we found out I was pregnant with my son,
Mm-hmm.
we had just signed escrow on our second property. Very next day, found out I was pregnant with him. So here we are, construction on a new facility and pregnant with our second child. So I'm going to say, yeah, probably children do bring more income.
They light a fire up your butt, I think. It's
Yes,
crazy. It's
yes.
just they're so expensive.
Well, it's because most people want to wait till they're ready.
Yes,
Right.
that's
And
true.
what does being ready mean?
You're never ready.
Like having the perfect life and unlimited money, it's never going to be perfect.
Right.
No.
Or easy.
And
Easy.
it's interesting you say that, because in the line of business that we're in, you realize and you have a constant reminder of life
Mhm.
and how short life is. And
Right.
the seniors that we care for, we look at their families, we look at their life, and it's gone within a split second.
Yeah.
It's gone. And so for us, we're very fortunate not only to care for people, but we're very fortunate to have that constant reminder of live today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
like Bradley said at Driven, he said, enjoy the gift and be grateful for the gift of the day. That really stuck with me.
Yeah.
And you're talking about you want to be ready. Well, we thought we would plan some things, but like they always say, you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah.
He's like,
So-
sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I in a million years thought I was going to be an owner of senior care facilities.
It's true.
My sister told us she's the one that mentored us into the business, and she one day she goes looking at our house, beautiful home, we have, which is now a facility, and she's like, hey, you should turn this into a boarding care. I'm like, you're out your mind. I would never do that in a million years. And I was in automotive, she was in corporate, and here we are,
Yeah.
9 years later.
So talk about that story. So you started your business from your house.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have a nice house, big
Mhm.
house,
Yes.
and then you decide to move into like a small room of part of the house, and then rent the rest of the house for the seniors, right? Is that how it was started?
That's exactly how it was
And
started.
you had a child?
We did. It was the 3 of us, and then the 4 of us in a 300 square foot room. No kitchen, just.
But how old were the
bathroom.
kids?
My daughter was a year old at the time, and then my
Right.
son was. I was pregnant, and
Oh.
my son grew up in that little room. We did that for 5 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You have to sacrifice if you want.
That's
if you've
true.
got big goals and big dreams, and my husband has really big goals and big dreams too, and
So
we
so
support
talk
each other.
about that though. Like how was it? Who gave you that idea? Because I told you before we had the mastermind together. You guys
Yeah.
came to we're part of the Driven event
Yeah.
that we just had, and we meet a lot of successful people through the events, right?
Mhm.
And one of my friends, he lives in Miami, and I told you like he started a senior caring company,
Oh yeah.
and he started buying. He bought a 3-unit property.
That's right.
And that's how he started. And then he bought more properties, and then he kept on getting more and more and more.
Mhm.
Long story short, he built that company quick. Not didn't take so long, but he built it, and he sold it for $115 million.
Wow.
Wow.
So I see the same here. Like it's a really great industry, great business model.
Mhm.
You just have to keep doing it. But how did you think about this idea?
Someone
Like,
coached you into it.
I'm gonna
you
move
said.
out and,
Right?
and
Yeah.
stay in this little room and rent the whole house.
Yeah, so it kind of ties back into your point of when are you ready, right? And so I remember clear as day we had a plan where we were going to start our own business, and we just didn't know what and didn't know where or who, or we didn't have Albert or Sil to
Right.
coach us at the time. We didn't know what we were doing. And so then my sister comes along. She has 2 facilities in West LA, and she's the one that kind of said, "Hey, you should do this." And I'm like, "No, you know." But then she would call us on our days off. "Hey, one of my caregivers called out sick." "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll go," you know. And that's how we got in love with the process. And hey, this isn't too bad. And then it's a selfless job too, because you're caring for someone. You learn so many things. And I remember one day I was just sitting there and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. We're doing
Let's
it.
go for it.
I
I'm like,
remember
this is
the
what we're gonna
moment.
do.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the shower. You know, they say great ideas come in the shower, right?
They really do,
Yeah.
actually.
So I wrapped the towel around.
You know
I
why?
have
You
no
know
idea
why,
to do it.
right?
Why? Because you're relaxed.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons. You know Jim Quick.
No.
No.
So Jim
He was
Quick,
at one of our
he's
Driven events.
he's a like a teacher, motivational speaker that teaches you how the mind works, how you could use your mind, that it's 100 times more powerful than you think.
Right.
So he's big on social media. Jim Quick, he's Asian, and that's what he focuses, the power of the mind. So he talks about how your best ideas, like, they happen when you're in the shower. So that's one of the places where it happens. You're in the shower, and especially like there's this thing when you put shampoo. You ever put shampoo on your head,
No.
and then you're kind of going like this, and then the water's just hitting your
That's why he
back,
takes so long.
and then you're like, you put it a little warm, then it gets a little too hot, then you put it a little bit colder, and you're just kind of like putting the shampoo, rubbing it on your head, and then you come up with the best idea, and you can't open your eyes because you have shampoo that's dripping down, and it's gonna hurt, and it happens, like it happens for me all the time.
Yeah.
So what I do is I shower with my iPhone. So I shower with my iPhone inside the shower, and I take notes when I shower.
Always.
You know, I've thought about doing that.
Wow.
Believe it or not the shampoo part, because it's useless for me at this point.
Yeah.
But the notes, the taking notes part.
How
of
do you
it,
wash your head then?
It's called. I don't want to give them a plug. They don't pay me. But it's a special.
So you don't use shampoo at all?
It's a bald head.
It's a
soap.
bald head line of products. So
Because
if I'm-
shampoo will dry the skin, right?
Yeah.
if you don't have
I
hair.
haven't used shampoo since I don't know.
See, I
Since we
could
started our
I
business?
Yeah.
I could use shampoo because mine is like not too short but not too long.
Yeah.
So I
No,
could still get away with
I
using
had
shampoo.
hair when I started my business.
Yeah.
So then you said, fuck it.
Oh, we said fuck it. Let's do it. We're moving from a 2,500 square foot home into the little. So there's a little back house,
An ADU, I
an
guess.
ADU, and so we said we're gonna.
But
do
you
it.
were showering, you came up with that idea. What are you thinking when you're pregnant and you have a 1-year-old, 2-year-old?
I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset. And I knew in order to get ahead, you have to make sacrifices for your family.
You didn't get a little bit scared?
No. I mean, it's always scary making a big change like that,
Yeah.
but we've always been great at just taking that leap of faith and always saying, it's going to work out, because it always does.
You guys
You don't
are
let it
committed.
fail.
Like you're very committed.
We
Like
are.
what I've learned from knowing you
Yeah.
is that like when you say you're going to do something, you do it.
We do.
And there's most people they're not like that. So they'll say, oh, I'm gonna do it later, and they don't put a date, and they're just
Right.
like, I'm not gonna do it. But I
Later
learned
never comes.
from you guys, just because it's been multiple times where you're like, I'm gonna do this on a certain date, and you guys do it,
Yeah.
and you always keep your word. So it's like
Always.
when you decided to start a business, you're like, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Is it gonna go bad and right, up and down?
Mhm.
Yeah, but we accept it, and we're just not gonna stop. We're not gonna give up. We're gonna keep doing it.
Right, and to touch on what you said about it's never the right time and people don't want to sacrifice anything, that is so true. People want everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
They want their cake and they want to eat it too. And I'm like, no, sometimes you have to give up this
Yeah.
for this.
Mhm.
Right.
You know, and it's okay to still have fun along the way, but it might not be as much fun, which is some of the conversations I have with him. Because sometimes you just got to put your head down and make shit happen, period, which we've done literally since the day we met.
Yeah.
Him and I tell my agents, my lenders, I'm like, since the day that we met, that's why I can't understand the people that close a deal and then they disappear for 3 months and when they run out of money, right? For me, I'm like, no, where's the next deal coming from? So him and I would literally work, go have a margarita, a burger, come back, work. All weekend, we wouldn't go to parties. Literally, client parties are the most parties we went to. Not to say that we didn't like go out clubbing here and there, but guess what? Sunday morning, we were on our staircase working on our files. You know, and so many people, again, they're so unfocused.
But
they're lazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know why? Not everybody is a big thinker.
Well, that's true, but there's very ambitious people that are extremely lazy.
Yes.
See, me, I'm like, if I walk into somewhere, I'm going to always make it better and leave it better. People will walk over the paper. They'll walk over the mess. And I'm like, that's what keeps people average. Because you don't take initiative regardless if it's your job or not. Literally, like, you'll see me walk into my bathroom anywhere at a venue, and if there's napkin on the floor, like, I'm going to take it with my nails and I'm going to put it in the trash. Because ultimately, like, I don't want to be walking through a shitty hallway full of paper.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people are like that, and it's so sad because it's getting worse.
People make excuses always
Yeah.
to hold them back. They may have big dreams or goals, but there's always an excuse as to why they are not executing it.
Right.
Do you remember what we did when we opened our second location? We got our license. We had somebody ready to move in, but we didn't have staff.
Right.
You were the staff.
Where did we sleep?
We actually, our son was just what, a
He was
couple
a
weeks
newborn.
old. We
Yeah.
were sleeping in one of the empty bedrooms on the floor.
On an
We
air
just-
mattress.
You know, air mattress. You got to do what you got to do
Yeah.
if you really want to do it.
Yeah.
There's so many people who have dreams and aspirations and goals and whatnot, but that means nothing. If the next morning you wake up and you don't have the motivation, you don't have the discipline, something we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
If you don't have that discipline to get out of that comfy, warm bed and push yourself, next year, guess what? You're going to be in the same place.
Right. Or worse, because if
Or
you're not
worse.
growing, you're actually dying.
Yeah.
And my grandma I used to tell, ella me decía, es mejor estar sola que mal acompañada.
Yeah.
And most people cannot even be with themselves.
Y es
Yeah.
cierto.
Which is so crazy. I'm like, I love being by myself. I just don't get to anymore. But I enjoy my own company. I have a blast when I'm by myself. I do what I want. I say what I want. Like, nobody can tell you anything, you know? But ultimately, you have to be very clear on where
Yeah.
you're going and focus on the money.
But you know what people have to understand, and I understand it because I've dealt with it. I have a lot of experience. Is that like the reason why people walk over or ignore messes in your office, in your workplace, is
Anywhere.
because people don't treat your money
Yes.
like it's theirs.
Yes.
Like they don't give a shit.
Yep.
It's your money,
Yeah.
Right.
not theirs. If it was their money, they would pick it up. They would fix it. And also on the big thinker people that think big, not everybody thinks big because most people don't want to deal with the big thinkers' problems. Meaning, some people are they have maybe a wife or husband that makes money. They have a salary. It's a decent salary, so they know they're okay if they're doing mortgage or real estate and they're not closing any deals or they haven't made money this year. They don't have that pressure and they don't want that pressure. So they're okay taking a break until times get easy again.
Right.
And same thing with people that, like, some people are just happy living with parents.
Yeah.
And they're 30, 40 years old.
I mean, as long as they're paying the bills, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
And so that's them. But people like you, like you guys, you think big. Like you want to build something big for your family, and that's why you're gonna go and work the extra mile. But I always tell Sil, you can't compare yourself with the rest of the people.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It does.
We would be switching spots at that point.
Yeah. I think what helps us in our perspective too is caring for the seniors that we care for. So we specialize in dementia care, and the number of seniors we have cared for that are just 65 years old who just retired from their 9-to-5s, only to end up in our care facilities.
That's so sad.
With dementia, can't recognize their families anymore, can't communicate properly, can't form a sentence together. It really, really touches us, and it really makes us realize kind of what Boris had mentioned earlier, and Albert. It doesn't matter how much money you guys have. You can't take that with you. It's the memories along the way. Right. So it's all about living now and doing what we can now for our family.
Right.
And one important point for us, everybody says, why did you start the business? And we get that asked all the time. For us, it was to be with our kids.
Yeah.
I want to be right next to them on the sidelines when they're playing football. Like my son plays football. Both of them, they're both jiu-jitsu fighters, so they compete. I want to be at every single competition. I want to be at their school events. Yeah. I'm head of a couple committees, well, one now, at our kids' school. Why? Because I want to be involved. I want to make sure that what's being taught to my kids, what's being fed to my kids, is the right things.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this out
that.
there, and well, we work so hard because of our families, for
Exactly.
for ourselves, for our families, and
Yes.
for the impact that we're making in the world,
Absolutely.
right? But you and I were talking about,
Yeah.
death or whatnot, and like when I lost my grandma, I just didn't understand how I can live without her.
Right.
And you kind of helped me understand certain things, which I felt much better after talking to you.
Okay.
But I can't even imagine, because I never thought about dying or gave a shit if I was going to die, like when it was just him and I. Once I had Italia, I'm like, fuck. Then we had Berlin, I'm like, shit. And now in Cali, I'm like, oh my God. It feels like I have 100 kids, quite literally,
Yeah.
because you're outnumbered.
Right.
Which makes so much sense. So I hear 4 would like balance everything, but I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. And, when I think about leaving and not leaving them in a great, I want to make sure everything's perfect for them. But again, I didn't care about dying or thought about it. When you're young, you don't think about it.
Right.
So I think you starting your business, you're exposed to it every day. So
Yeah.
it kind of forces you to really live intentionally.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say live it like it's your last day, hopefully not. But one day it is going to be our last day.
Right.
And how sad is that? I'm like, why do we have to get old and why do we have to die?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, sorry.
I know it gets hard with 4 people.
No, I was just going to add though, it doesn't have to be that way. Like if I go tomorrow, then I know it was my time and I know that I provided the best life possible for my kids and the best memories for them. But again, I think it's because of what we do.
We're going to the fair tomorrow.
We're going to the fair tomorrow.
Postpone it.
No, this is good for people.
So-
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the working together, how to keep the
No,
relationship
I have a good question for you,
et cetera,
but
et cetera.
you were gonna add something.
I forgot. Go for it.
So let's talk some math and business. Let's teach people some business here. So, what's the numbers like when you start the business, and so you move into the smaller space of bedroom, and you're there, you're pregnant. 2-year-old, and then you rent the house. So how much is the mortgage payment versus how many people are you providing service to right there for senior living? Are you making like $500 net after all that? Are you making $1,000 net? How do those numbers look like for the sacrifice you did of moving to that 1 bedroom?
Sure. So we are considered a boarding care, and we're licensed to have 6 residents in each of our locations, and that's pretty standard. By doing it that way, you're considered residential and not commercial. We went the extra step and did the commercial insurances and whatnot to truly protect our business. But and this is a national average. Like on average, boarding care can cash flow $10,000 each home.
Okay.
So with what you did, you were cash flowing like $10,000?
We would like to think so. We had a lot of expenses and overhead, so we weren't always cash flowing that.
Yeah, there's a couple things that come into play.
Yeah.
A good boarding care will cash flow about $10,000 once you're fully staffed, you're up and running, you're good. So that normally takes about anywhere from 6 months to a year, because you're kind of chasing your tail a little bit. In addition to that, you have agency fees. So agents will place they'll say, hey, I have Mrs. Smith here. Okay, how much do you charge, a month? Let's just say $4,000 a month for the bed. Well, they'll place Mrs. Smith with you, but you owe that agent the first month's rent as a fee. So the first.
Is it always the first month?
Well, they break it up in payments, but it really is the first month. So whatever you charge for 1 month, that's their fee. And so when you're new, when you're starting, you haven't built a brand, you haven't you don't have a reputation, you have to use that, and we still use them. We have phenomenal agents that we work with. We have great relationships with them because of our reputation and what we do. We're one of the top homes that they will refer to, and so that's a big expense. Also, what's the biggest expense of any business?
Payroll.
Staffing.
Payroll. You said
Staffing,
I said
payroll.
payroll.
You said payroll.
Well,
that's what it is.
But it's
true.
staffing too, because now you're bringing in staff. What if they don't work? So what if it doesn't work out? Well, you just spend all this time and money training someone who it's not gonna work out. So now you got to bring someone else. And so those are the hiccups of starting one of these. Everybody thinks, oh yeah, it's great. You guys are doing great. You guys are killing it. It wasn't always like that.
The beginning's never like that, but then you get better, you learn,
Right.
and like training, if it's the same job, there's like, you can do like training videos, like we have a Driven Academy, because it's a lot of work. You bring someone in, you spend all this energy, and then you're like, oh my God, the person's not going to make it past the 30, 60, 90-day mark. Sometimes even like 2 weeks and they're gone, because it's not a good fit.
Do you know the multiple of your business? The multiple and to get the valuation?
No.
More or less, no? So
That's why I hired a business coach to teach me.
Yeah. so right now you have how many locations?
3.
3. So on average, a good one cash flows like 10 grand, right?
Right.
So Eric Spofford.
Thank you.
Eric Spofford, he was making, I think he had about 100 locations.
Imagine having 100.
100
Yeah.
What's Eric
locations.
Spofford who you're talking about?
Eric Spofford.
Oh,
Wow.
Wait, isn't he doing Section 8?
Well, he sold his company.
That's
He
his
exit.
that's his
That was his-
investment.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not his company.
Okay,
No, that's
okay.
that's his investment. The company, he sold it, but he's building another one quicker now.
Okay.
So he's doing the same thing again. But Eric Spofford, he sold, and I know this for a fact. He was making $1 million net a month. So about 12 million a year net. And he sold his company for 115 million. So he got about a 10 multiple, like a 10 times multiple,
Okay.
more or less. So I mean, if you multiply 10 times 12 million, it gives you close to 115 million. So that's what he sold it for. So it's very easy math. You just have to add more locations. But there's a very high multiple in that industry, in that space. And then the cool part is that when you sell, maybe you own all the real estate. So you sell the business, but then you still own the real estate.
Right.
I'm so happy you brought that up, actually, because at the Driven event, we had the opportunity of speaking with William Stern.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers,
guys.
To new relationships. Look at you in the eye.
I know.
And we don't all
Make
take a
eye
sip.
contact. Thank you.
So good.
For all those stress.
No, thank you. You brought us a bottle.
Oh, you're welcome. It's the least we could do.
Because last time you forgot.
But
Well, I didn't see the text in time. It's very different.
but this isn't that the beauty? Like I always tell people, we only know what we know.
Yes.
Until we know better, we can't do better. But when
Right.
you know better, you have to do better. It's your duty and your responsibility to do better. But doesn't this like you're like, wait, what the fuck? Like we have 3 right now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? 6, 9, and doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling. And what the hell that would look like?
Yeah.
Look at her face.
So
Yeah.
it's so that brings up a great point
It does.
Yeah.
because January of this year, we were we were exhausted.
Yeah.
We were tired of California. We're gonna move. I love
Same.
Texas. I'm a huge Texas fan.
Yeah.
You know, we go to Dallas every year. We're not gonna talk about why, but poor Cowboys, they suck. But anyway, that was besides the point. So yeah, we would go out there every year. To me, I feel at home in Dallas. I love Texas. So we went out in January. We actually bought a house out in Dallas in January.
We did.
And we were getting ready to, we said, you know what, we're just going to
Bounce.
sell our business and move to Texas.
We were.
And it's-
Dallas is safe for men.
It is.
Yeah.
well, why?
Because there's nothing but seniors there.
no.
You get like 65-year-old women flirting with you. It's very safe.
He gets them
But
now in our home,
Have
too.
you seen? Yeah.
It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
sweet, though.
Have
It
you seen
really
the cougars
is.
in Texas? Though? I mean, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble here. You know.
Oh no, he doesn't get in.
Well, that's what Patrick David told me.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
Because
say
we went there to visit him quite a few times in
Yeah,
Dallas.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
I
right.
know
He
Dallas
he
very
literally
well.
said that.
I know Highland Park. I know
Oh,
like
Highland
all
Park's
the.
great.
It's nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
We love it there.
Oh, we
It's a
love.
great place if you want to just be a great father, great for kids to grow up, safe for men.
You could do that anywhere. Period.
Yeah, but it's a little different if you move to like Dubai or you're in other areas.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. There's a lot of family values out in Texas.
We have some
Right.
friends that
Vegas.
moved there and they
Probably
love
not the
it.
place where you want to
Right.
raise your
Take the kids,
children.
you know. But it's just funny how we're
Yeah.
very religious and how things work out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna sell everything, and we have a meeting with the bank, and the bank goes, "Why are you selling? Why?
Why?
You'd be stupid to sell.
Yeah.
You need to grow." And it planted a seed, and then we found you guys, and I'm like, hey, check these guys out, And then we had our recertification courses, and we met some great people.
Yeah.
Every 2 years, we have to recertify our administrator certificates, and so we found out about some great programs that the state is rolling out to help RCFEs because there's such a need for what we do.
Right.
And now they're getting in to help to house all these seniors, low-income seniors.
Right.
And so then we found you, and we did your mastermind. We'll throw a little plug in for you. And
Make it a big plug.
big plug. You want the big plug?
It lit the fire.
It lit the fire. I
Yeah.
told you this at
Yeah.
Driven.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
We walked out of this place revitalized, rejuvenated,
Yeah, we did.
and we were ready to go. Like,
I
you
love
guys
that.
fired us up,
Yeah.
That's
and-
why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can't thank you guys enough. And this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
I want all of us to look back at this in a year or two, and be like, look, they had 3, and look what they have now.
Yeah.
You know?
We're looking forward to see the growth. I love it.
Well, think about it. If you want if you want to build a $10.1 million business, all you need is 10 locations.
William Stern told us that
Yeah.
at In-N-Out.
Oh, he copied me.
We went to In-N-Out with him.
if you want a $50 million business, all you need is 50 locations,
Yeah.
more or less.
Right.
But keep in mind that also California is different than the state where Eric Spofford built his empire. That's why he was probably able to build it faster.
Absolutely.
He's in Florida, right?
No, he's in Florida now. So after he sold his business, he bought a mansion in Miami. He bought a jet. He bought a yacht, and he's investing in real estate. But what helped him is that when he sold, he still had real estate that he owned.
Yeah.
So it's like he got paid on the sale, but then he still collects rent.
For the leases.
Yeah, he leases.
And so like it's just a great industry. And then you have real estate, kind of like McDonald's.
Right.
Like you make money from the real estate. So it's like it's a really, really good business. And then the good news is that you're never gonna be without seniors.
I'll let
Thank
take
you
that
for
one.
touching on that. Yeah. So
Like pretty soon, me and Seal are gonna need senior care.
call us.
We're already
We'll be in a shared room, you and I.
we'll be 60 pretty soon. 20 more years, we're 60.
We're right
People
there with
don't
you.
realize this though, but there's 150 million seniors who need help and placement in senior care facilities,
Unlimited.
and there are not enough homes.
Wow.
Nation-
So
Nationwide.
not only can we grow our business model, but we can truly help it while doing so.
Right.
But on the business side of it, you're right. We own the real estate plus the business, and my business will bring in more rent than a typical family in a rental unit.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's truly is a fantastic business model.
We
Right.
have a generation, the baby boomers.
Yes.
It's called the Silver Tsunami.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't even started touching the tip of the iceberg with them. They're barely coming into the age of care. That's huge. It's massive, and there's not. I mean, we've said it several times. There's not enough care or quality care homes for them. So-
Quality, I would say. I'm
Quality.
sure there's
Quality.
enough, but not the quality.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you told me before about like your dad, how much your dad, he's important.
Yeah.
Like what did that have anything to do with you having this extra love for seniors?
No. However,
Because your business is a good cause.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like you're doing it's a great business. It's worth a lot. You could scale it, but then you're also doing something really good for the world.
So in terms of my dad, he's always been my best friend. He's always been my mentor, and a little tad bit about me. I was born in Mexico. Came here when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
My dad in Mexico was a businessman. Things went sideways. We had to come over here and start from scratch. I saw my dad work 2 jobs to put me in a private school, and I with the upbringing and the circumstances of my childhood, I didn't think I was going to amount to much. So I squandered that opportunity. Eventually, I was offered a program through Ford Motor Company where they paid for my college, and I had some great mentors. Greatest one was being my dad. And so to this day, my dad lives with me, and I'm, he's we call him Tito. Kids
Yeah.
love him dearly, and he's there. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that it's perfect. Sometimes he gets on my nerves. I get on his nerves, but I'm there, and it's one of those where, kind of touching on what you're talking about, this path has prepared me to his time where he's going to need care and the day that he's going to leave. And I think it's going to give me closure to say, I've done everything I can for him, and give him back everything he's given to me in my life.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's how we tie this whole thing up with my dad.
Yeah, speaking about like parents getting on your nerves, like my mom and my dad would get on my nerves, when I was younger. But now I just don't make it an option. Like now it's like, hey, they're my parents.
Yeah.
They're older. They might not be here one day soon, because they're closer to soon than closer to like they have a lot of life left. Even though anybody can die at any time, right?
Right.
But like, why would I be not understanding about their age and what they've done for me, and so I understand everything they've done for me. So I'm not gonna get annoyed. They're not gonna get on my nerves, because like they're just always scared. They're negative. They're always worried.
Right.
That's how like old-fashioned Mexicans, at least my parents, are. They're always thinking negative. They're like, Albert, you're gonna get a heart attack. Albert, you're gonna go out of business. Albert, you shouldn't spend money here. Albert, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. So you can't. So they're like always telling me you shouldn't do anything, and that's been like that for forever. But before they would get on my nerves, and I would be kind of sometimes mean to them back, and now as I'm older, I'm like, that's not something that I need to do. Like her grandma, same thing. But it's like, why are they gonna get on your nerves? Maybe they're not here tomorrow. Why not just, they say something, just agree with them, and no need to like
I think it's
make them feel
different
bad.
if you live together, because it's like every day rather than de vez en cuando, like him and I.
Patrick, why did he want to like, he sold his company, right? Patrick but David, he sold his company before he didn't live with his dad. Once he sold his company and he got all this extra money, I know that he moved his dad in.
Yeah.
So now his dad lives with him too. So Patrick's dad lives in his mansion, but it's a big mansion, so they could be on one side of the house and you could be on the other side of the house. Kind of like we work together, but she's on her side and I'm on my side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it allows it to be less of getting on your nerves.
Right.
But what's the whole point of selling a company for $250 million like Patrick did if your dad is not here with you anymore? So he did that, and he moved his dad with him.
Right.
So it's like, do you think he gets annoyed by his dad? Probably, but he's not going to let him know that, because some people, they gone through a lot of difficult stuff, so they are going to be negative and scared.
What you're describing right now is called the sandwich generation. And we're all living it, and it's who we help. So the sandwich generation is children who have aging parents, and you are now considered the caregiver for that aging parent, and you have young children that you're trying to raise. So you're being pulled in two different directions. And by
That's why we're a sandwich.
Yes.
I like sandwiches. I always get that sandwich from Hotel Bel Air, the turkey one.
Yeah.
Club sandwich.
I've never had it.
It has a bread in the middle, and it's like very crispy, and it has like the best stuff. Like it has like avocado, ham. Very, very good.
Sounds like we need to try it.
I'll let you take us out there for lunch one of these days.
Yeah, he could eat the same thing every day.
But it makes sense, sandwich. But you're saying so sandwich. You're dealing with you're raising kids, and you're also kind of
you're caring for
your
aging parents.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, and why people look for a facility like ours is because the resentment starts to kick in. They can no longer be their parents' child and have that family relationship, but now they're exhausted, they're burnt out, they've got kids in sports or kids graduating high school, and they're there for all the activities, and they're being spread so thin because now, or I'll backtrack, back in the day, right? You could survive off of one income. Now you've got both parents working in the home, and that's probably not even enough anymore. And now you've got mom and dad living with you who you think can care for your kids.
But they can't.
And before you know it, it's like you're caring for them and your kids now. And you have to work.
And if I may add, you're missing a very big wild card there. My dad is he's still got all his marbles up there. What about when you have a loved one who's got Alzheimer's or any type of dementia?
Yes.
Now all of a sudden mom and dad is a stranger because mom and dad goes up to you and who are you?
Yeah.
Or is aggressive towards you.
Yeah.
Or speaks to you in a certain manner, and you're like, whoa, mom, what's going on? And we're human, so you can't help but take it personal.
Yeah.
And so when we give these tours to the families, what we always tell them is, we want you to be family again. We want you to bring, if you decide we're the right place for you, because we don't accept everybody. There's been times where we say, I'm sorry, we're not the place for you.
Yeah.
We don't only look at the resident, we look at the families.
Right.
And so we accept the family. We tell them, You come and visit, and you don't worry about anything. That's our job. You'd be surprised how strong a 90-year-old lady is when she punches you in the face. It hurts.
I've had my hair pulled by a 90-year-old.
Mine hasn't.
No.
No.
That's probably why she went for mine.
Yeah.
And then you can't, like, you have to just kind of take it like a champ because you can't hit him back.
You can't do anything.
No. You have to understand that they're not in their right state of mind, and oftentimes you just
Like,
you
I don't
have to live in
like,
their world.
I could see like still like thinking about like I'm gonna hit you back.
No. Reflex. No.
But-
It's kind of like when a woman hits a man, like you can't
You can't do
hit
anything
back,
about
so
it.
you just have to take it like a champ.
Yeah.
You can't do any puff daddy bullshit.
No, definitely not.
and we
Like-
grew up differently.
Yeah.
You know, we're in back to our industry. We're trained differently.
Yeah.
We're trained to have that patience to, and we tell our caregivers,
Yeah.
when there's a situation, remove yourself and bring another caregiver in. So we go through extensive training on a
Yeah.
lot of different things. So going back to the families go, thank you.
Yeah.
Because now I can sleep at night. Now I know that mom and dad are safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, things are still going to happen, unfortunately. There's a lot of things that are
Yeah.
out of our control. But if we can do the best that we can to care for these seniors and give the families peace of mind,
And it's not easy work.
oh, hell no.
Every business has its complications.
Yes.
No, no.
Like, what would you do, Andrew? Andrew, what would you do? What would you do if your girl just goes to you and just like kicks you in the balls and punches you like right on the face?
Depends why.
What I do?
Like, what would you do? Yeah. Like,
I can't do much. I'll put her in the doghouse herself. She won't see me for a while.
Is your phone ringing now?
because it's like, I mean, I know. I mean, it's funny, but think about like you said, a 90-year-old
You
woman.
can't defend yourself.
Let's say
in that situation.
she doesn't like you for some reason. Maybe she doesn't like the way you dress or your hair, or you remind her of somebody, and then she goes and hits you with a bat and knocks you down.
Well,
Like things like that could happen.
we don't have bats or
We don't have
anything that would
weapons
harm
around.
them
There-
or
there's
us.
a lot of
Yeah.
things, but
Rules.
you're right. What
But
if she
you're right,
grabs
yeah.
What
like?
about knives? You had knives?
We had one.
They
I'll
have
give
to
you.
be locked down.
I'll give you an example. We had one resident with dementia.
Can I tell him the one that ratted on you for cheating on me?
That's
supposedly?
exactly what I was going to
Oh,
talk about.
she was
oh
awesome.
my gosh.
She was awesome.
We thought of the same story. It's so funny.
Go for it.
Yeah, so she did not like me. She did not like me at all. It didn't ma-
Why not?
She just had dementia and she thought I was there to hurt her.
Mm.
And so sometimes when you're not in your right state of mind, anybody is out to get you. But she loved Boris. And so it goes back to our training. If she doesn't like me, I need to remove myself from that situation because all I'm doing is creating more anxiety and agitation for her. And so Boris steps in, and I'll let you take the story from here.
So, a lot of it comes from fear and paranoia. But I walk in, she waves me down. Can I talk to you? And I'm like, sure, what's going on? And Amanda's like,
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh, what's going on? I don't want her to hear. I'm like, what's going on? Your wife's a whore.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He's like, I know.
She tells Boris I'm cheating on him.
I'm like,
"Aw."
I saw her yesterday leave the house
Yeah.
with the neighbor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
which one?
So I can go get him.
Yeah, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, thank you. She's like, you need to leave her. You need to do better
Yeah.
than her.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So oftentimes
I
when
didn't
our-
listen.
when our residents have dementia, they're living a very different life in their heads. And sometimes the best thing to do is redirect or distract. And sometimes it's also living in their world to calm them down. So you go along with the story and then you remove yourself from the situation.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the principles of selling. Always agree.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you want to end an argument quick, just agree.
Yeah.
Is that
Your
why
wife,
you agree?
huh?
Is that why you agree with me all the time?
I always agree with you, baby.
Yeah, I mean, but like like always agree doesn't have to necessarily mean that you accept it. It could be like, yes, I understand.
Yeah.
You say, yes, I understand, or you're right. That stops the other person from going further. But if you start contradicting or defending yourself, it just adds to the fight.
Yeah.
That's true.
So like if let's say if Amanda goes up to you and she's like mad and she's like let's just say you did something wrong.
You mean this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's so she got mad at what? What did he do?
Yes.
I know. What did we do? I forgot.
What did Boris do?
What did Boris do?
Why'd you
I got
get mad at him?
you for going out and about on Tuesday. We had a lot of work to do.
We had a lot of work to do.
And she went out.
Well, she went out with the kiddos, so she had a planned play date kind of thing, and I'm like, look, we got a bunch of stuff going on.
So you got it kind of put you it put you behind.
Yeah, we were
It-
behind the
it-
eight ball.
yeah.
And so you got on
I
her
laughed
this
so
morning
hard.
and you
Why
told
are
her,
you
hey, why'd you
laughing?
do that? Now we have to do all this. Now
Yeah.
this is going on.
Yeah.
So like you like if I were you, Amanda, I would have said, I don't know if you said this, but I would have said, honey, you're right. I understand. I messed up. I shouldn't have done that. And then you can't argue anymore. But she probably having her personality,
It depends
she
on
probably
what we're talking about
she
here.
probably like raised her voice and raised her voice at you and tried to explain why what she did wasn't that wrong, and then it just starts the argument. But if she would have said, which I don't know if she said it this way, but if she would have said, honey, you're right, I was wrong, I messed up, then what is there to argue?
I can be a little spicy. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
I mean, she is
Keeps it
Lebanese
fun.
and Mexican.
Yeah,
so.
I'm half Mexican, half Lebanese.
Yeah.
It's a little,
It's
Yeah.
fun.
spicy.
Yeah.
but it's like there's like 3 really good books on, and these are the only books you need to be very good at communication and get what you want from anybody. And I mean, the number 1 book is How to Win and Influence Friends.
Yep.
Then there's another really good book. It's a dating book. Like the dating books are the best. So this one's by it's Mystery and Neil Strauss. It's called The Game, I think. The Game.
The game.
Okay.
It shows you just a lot of tricks. I gave everybody a good hooking up in a bar trick on
I remember
on
that.
like
Oh,
yeah.
instead of, and that's just body language. So like many times body language closes.
Everything.
Like if you're a guy, you're trying to get a girl, or if you're a girl, you're trying to get a guy, and you want to increase your effectiveness and efficiency, you go to the bar, but instead of facing the bar tender, you face out. So it's weird. Why would you be at the bar facing out? But when you're at the bar facing out, you have the girl or the guy coming to you. So let's say that Maria's at the bar and she's facing out, and then a guy's coming up, right? She's gonna have maybe a few guys that smile at her or wink, and then she's gonna be able to be like, oh, you know what? No, this guy's a brokey. And then she sees another guy. Oh, this guy has a Rolex. This guy looks successful. Okay, so that increases the odds of her finding like somebody that's gonna be worth it.
Better.
So then the guy's already smiling, and so all she really has to do is just kind of like wink back and kind of smile, and then that's when the communication starts. But now she's, oh no, brokey. Oh, this guy has a Rolex. Let me talk to him. Or this guy has a
What if
Rolex
it's a
and is
fake
good looking.
Rolex?
I was just gonna say that.
So-
It's really real.
I would hate to date
so
right
like
now.
so like
So would I.
when like let's say me and Boris, 2 handsome guys, we're at the bar and we're just facing out,
Yeah.
and you have all these girls that are coming, and I'm just using this as an example, of course, nothing more than that. But the girls are coming to the bar, and then we have some cuties that come by and they're smiling at us. So we already know that they have some level of interest. So then after that, you offer something for free. When you offer something for free, I don't know why we got into this conversation of selling, but we're talking about sales now. So
Because
so
it's
you offer something for free, something that somebody cannot say no.
Right.
Like something too good to be true that they're not going to say no. So you could offer the person, hey, let's take a shot.
No thanks. I can buy my own shot.
You're getting the shot, right? but
Me too.
But how do you say it in a way where they can't say no? You make them feel guilty. So you give them a story of something that's going on. Why is it a special event today? We're celebrating my birthday. It's my birthday today. We're celebrating, and we're gonna take a celebration shot. Boom, that always worked. But I learned that from the book The Game, as well as this might be a little dirty, but like one of the second best place to pick up is in the bathroom, because people are entering and going out of the bathroom.
Not in the bathroom.
No, well, you see who comes in and who comes out, and that's an opportunity to connect. But that book, The Game, they gives you a lot of examples. Those are just two examples that I
had that book when I met him.
So the game, and then also the peacocking. You know what that means?
Yeah.
So when you're peacocking, you wear something that gets attention.
Yep.
Could be a hat that's funny. So sometimes people are like, "Why do you have a hat?" Like, you look stupid. Like when I've done coaching, but it always does good because people are asking you like, "Why are you wearing that hat?" Ha 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 ha. The hat. So you're getting attention. And so you get attention, you build rapport, you listen more than you speak, and you close. This applies to sales. So like if you're selling a client, you gotta work in this way, and you will get the sale. Most of the time, like I recorded sales calls that I did, and most of the time, if they're qualified, I close them in about 12 minutes, and 10 minutes are me listening, and 2 minutes is me talking. And boom, but I always talk to their interest. So the book, How to Win and Influence Friends, it shows you like if let's say you guys are interested in our services. Well, if I'm just telling you, if me and her are just talking and we're just telling you, hey, yeah, we're millionaires and we have Ferraris, we live in Bel Air. Yeah, you know what, this is one of my watches. And yeah, this office, and we're just talking about what we have, and we're just giving you, like, showing off and telling you this is who we are, this is what we have, this is what we are, this is what we have, da 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 da. And we don't even ask you, like, hey, tell us more about your business. Okay, right. Tell me about how you started. Okay, what's the biggest thing right now that you think will move the needle for your business? How can we help you with that? Tell me what scares you the most right now. Then you tell us your fears. Okay, so we have a solution for that fear. Boom, 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 boom. And you're just listening and asking more questions, and boom, you close. So that's why you make a good you have such a great business with customers that are loyal, because I can tell that you really care about your customers. You really care about seniors and what they need. We're talking about dementia. So you know that's one of the fears, that's one of the problems. How do you combat that? So you do this, you do that, and so you're really building a business that is just gonna grow.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's a great book, by the way, from Dale Carnegie. Yeah, phenomenal book. The
other book I was going to say, 48 Laws of Power. You read 48 Laws of Power, How to Win and Influence Friends, and then The Game. Dude, you're unstoppable.
Right.
You can make anything happen.
I want to put those in my
48 Laws of Power is all about, like, using psychology and it's not going to be nice, but manipulating people.
Right. I mean, that's essentially what How to Win Friends and Influence People does. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's how to get them to like you, and how to use those powers to your benefit. Yeah. So it's essentially the same thing.
And if you're an evil person, you could use that book, 48 Laws of Power. You could use that for bad things.
Right. We don't want to do that.
You could use it for taking advantage of people and doing bad things. So some people use it for they don't use it for good. They use it for bad. So there's good and bad people in this world.
Right. Absolutely.
But those 3 books, like, man, you find any loser in the street, and they could become very, very successful by following all those principles. Have you ever read 48 Laws of Power?
I heard it, not read it.
I was going to say I listened to some of the
I
books.
actually prefer reading more.
I do too.
But it's kind of hard. So throw on the, what is it? Audible, whenever you can.
The audiobook.
The goal is to be improving all the time, because what we listen to, what we hear, who we are around is what you become.
Right.
Yes.
Bottom line.
Yes.
And that's very important, because we've learned that there's a lot. It's very easy to have a lot of negative people in your life.
People are
in
horrible.
your circle.
Mm-hmm. Like, people care more about your life than their life, And it's like the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what about your marriage? Focus on your shit. Leave us alone.
So Amanda, really quick. So you're half Mexican and half from Lebanon.
Half Mexican, half Lebanese. My father came here from Lebanon.
But you were born here.
I was born here, yes.
Have you ever went back over there?
Yeah, we visited once in '96, I think.
Yeah.
And I never went back ever since. Yeah.
So, what do you like about Amanda the most?
She's all. Let me.
I'm like, hold on, let me get comfortable here.
Here we go.
And also, Amanda, after that, what do you like about Boris the most?
Okay.
Because you guys obviously complement each other.
We do.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. I like the fact that rarely anybody doesn't like her. I like to describe her as ice cream. Who doesn't?
But I don't like ice cream.
Really?
Okay, so you're the
I don't
exception.
care for
But
ice
you
cream.
like me.
But I like you.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing in our business is like I could, they can tick me off real quick or anywhere, right? I can be easily ticked off. Her, if you get to her, oh, you really fucked up because she's the nice one. And aside from that, her drive, her motivation, her tenacity, and I think that's a trait that our daughter
Picked
got
up.
from. Yeah, our daughter's
it.
like, I want this, I want that, and she gets it,
Yeah.
and she works for it. And so, back to Amanda, the fact that she's her tenacity and her drive and her, wanting to do more. She never says no to my stupid ideas.
Well, that's what makes you guys great because you're probably the visionary.
I never say no to his stupid ideas either.
I was thinking about that, yeah.
Wait. What do you like about me? Wait. Don't. No. My turn. Come
My
on.
turn.
You like his stupid ideas?
I love his stupid ideas.
No, you don't.
Because
Sometimes
they
you-
always pan out.
So
Not always.
we'll wrap up
This is
in like 10 minutes, but I want to finish this because I think it's powerful and people are gonna appreciate what you're sharing because you just showed how like you came from, you had an idea, you didn't have much, you moved into a little room, and then you build this business that people like William Stern, they're telling you, hey, do this and it's going to be worth 10 million and then 50 million, and then it's just there's no limit on how big you want to grow it, but it's it's going to happen by how many more people can you help.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna add one more thing before you go on. You have no idea how many people told us that we were stupid for quitting our jobs and doing this.
Oh, the whole world.
I love my
yes.
my old boss. I love him dearly. Still great friends. I love the guy. But when I walked into his office and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna quit because I'm gonna do this." He's like, "You're stupid."
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't do it."
How much were you making there?
What was I making? Like under 60,000 a year. And now I'm in contact with him. Great guy. Love the guy dearly. He's like, dude, I can't believe you
Now
did
you could
this."
make that in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I can't believe you did it. And he's happy, obviously, for me. He's like, I wish I would have done that too, jokingly. But don't let naysayers attract you.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry.
And then also just to add that really quick, you guys are just in the beginning. Like this
Yeah,
is just the start.
seriously.
Like there's like you have so much potential right now. There's so many more things you could do, so much more growth. So this is just the beginning.
It's true. We wanted to quit this year and sell it all and give it all up, and instead
I told you guys not to do it.
we're not.
Yeah.
We're not. We realized that what our problem was is just not having middle management and not having somebody help the administrative stuff that goes on in the background so that we can actually get back into our homes and spend
Yeah.
more time with our seniors and doing what we love.
Yeah.
And that's where we go from here, is just hiring
Right.
help and be able to grow and
Yeah.
grow
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite quality of Boris?
Yeah, he wants to know. So
What
let's
moves
hear it.
what
Does
move what
wanna
moves your
know.
needle? Like
Keep it PG.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I mean or just say it. Or just say it.
They might be children watching. You don't know.
Our children?
I don't know anybody's
Oh, I
children.
told him that Italia said you guys took a nap. I was like,
No.
7-year-old. I don't know what happened there.
Oh.
She's too smart, right, Maria?
I told her, can you watch your sister really quick? That we're gonna take a nap.
Yeah, she didn't
They're
believe
so
you.
smart. They're so
She didn't
smart.
believe you, did she?
You guys take naps?
Yes, we do.
They're actually real naps.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
I don't take naps.
So
'cause
what's
I
your
won't
favorite thing
get
about
up.
Boris?
So I met Boris when I was 19 years old, and as a 19-year-old who listened to Dr. Laura, do you guys remember Dr. Laura?
No.
She was on the radio, and she was very much, make sure you have these things
In common?
in common, yes, with your spouse before you move on. So I think it was only our second date where I was like, okay, I swear to God.
When I took you to Dallas?
No, oh yeah, that too. But it was like our second date where I'm like, okay, we are not having separate bank accounts. If we end up getting married one day, then we have one bank account that we're managing together. We have the same religion, because that was really important. And you want the same like goals and dreams in life to grow together. Oftentimes couples grow apart. And the reason why I asked that so early on is because Dr. Laura said, you're wasting your time dating somebody if those three things don't align.
You listening, Maria?
Take notes. And I think because early on we did realize that we were willing to work together. Like, Boris is a great dad, and he's a hard worker, and he's a great husband. And
Great personality, too.
He's
you.
so funny. He really is. And we both have like very like funny, sarcastic personalities because we work together.
Yeah.
Like, do we argue? Of course we argue. We're never going to say we're perfect. We're an open book. You can ask us anything.
Right.
And we've always been this way, but we're just open and honest with each other. And those are some of the qualities that Boris has always had. And I've always appreciated that.
I love that.
I love him.
You guys
You
wanna-
hear-
you guys
you
wanna-
hear all the
you guys
awesome
wanna-
Wait, what am
you
I-
guys- you guys want to like kiss really quick?
Oh, no.
Should we kiss?
We're gonna lose.
instigator.
We're
We're
gonna
gonna-
lose followers.
We're going to take a nap.
You can do it in our locker room. There's no cameras there.
So
She knows. Oh, God.
So to close out here, the like what's the plan here for the next 5 years? Like, I know you want to grow your business, obviously. Do you want to grow your business to sell it, or do you want to grow your business to keep it?
So the goal is just like you mentioned, and William Stern mentioned.
Yeah.
The goal is 10. So we're
By
we're
when? Let's put a date to
ASAP.
it. What's realistic? If however long it takes to do each one.
It's just, there's a licensing process that goes because we're licensed by the state of California. And so
Right.
there's always a delay with that. So just as quickly as we possibly can through that process. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we do have. It's called the inner circle.
Yeah.
That is gonna help us. I mean, just talking to people
that are smarter.
that are smarter, that know a lot more than we do.
Yeah.
or different things than you do, because I
Right.
feel like we all can add value regardless of where we are in life. Everyone has value to add.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But
Some
it-
people have more money than others. Some people are happier than others.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's the mindset.
Yeah.
Being around people.
Yeah.
So now being part of this community
Yeah.
is going to help us
Right.
get there much faster.
Yeah.
And so that's the goal. And
Yeah.
no, not to sell, because we want this to be a legacy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Our daughter, she wants to be a doctor. Growing up in the business,
Yeah.
she, all her stuffed animals are all wrapped up and they're all
They're all
bandaged and
injured.
whatnot. All injured.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
we want to leave this for them.
Yeah.
My son, I don't know. I
He
love
wants to be an
it.
architect.
He wants to be an
That's
architect.
what he said yesterday.
So he has no,
Yeah.
he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
If my daughter doesn't want it, then we'll sell it.
Yeah.
But right now we're building it for her legacy and our
Or-
kids.
Or
Now
you could be like our friend that came to the inner circle that built a huge business and just put a large amount in each of their kids' account, and wants to keep the business.
I want my children to earn it. My children work with us in our facilities.
So you don't want
My-
to you don't want to give them like
I
a
do.
lot of
Oh,
money.
I will
no.
never give them anything. My daughter, she's actually working with us. She'll do our supply list orders for us every week, and she earns money for that. my son will go run errands with Boris. He's only 7, so he'll go run errands with Boris and help him fix things in the facilities. Or he will volunteer and they will go into our facilities and color with our seniors or play games with our seniors. They have to earn it. I will never just
Why don't you just want to give him money and a nice car?
Because nobody gave me that.
Yeah.
Nobody gave me that. I dude, my first car was a 1987 Tempo.
But let's just say that you both die.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't give them anything. Like you wouldn't leave like money in the bank account for them?
Well, yeah, that's a different story. Yeah, we would leave it.
We set up a living trust for them, and that is so important, by the way. Have a living trust because you don't want the state to determine where your assets go.
Or your kids.
Yes,
Or your kids,
that
yeah.
too. But we have a living trust, and I think it's set up, if I'm not mistaken, it's set up so that they have to turn a certain age to start receiving,
Right.
so that it's not just given to them at like 16 years old where they're going to blow it all on a car.
And probably kill themselves.
Yeah.
What if you give the money to the smarter one, and let the smarter one run distributions?
Were you always smart in high school?
He was a nerd.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I was just insecure. I became very insecure when I went to school. I think like now, it's like, so for example, now my daughters, if they don't go to school, they get homeschooled, but like we spend time with them, and I tell them things that I want them to learn. So we have our own ways of
Yeah.
raising our children and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But like in school, like I went through a lot of stuff that I think forced me to become better, because people made fun of me, people called me wetback, people I didn't speak English.
Get tough.
That's
I would get bullied.
Me too.
So then
Me
I
too.
had to fight back. I remember this huge black kid. He put me on a headlock once in school, and he was like way bigger than me. He was like a big kid, and I was like a smaller kid. He was like maybe
I would have been like,
like maybe a year older or two. But it's a big difference when you're in middle school. So I remember this kid got me on the headlock, and he was like from Compton, and he got me in the headlock, and I couldn't breathe anymore. I was like, and he did that. Then finally I was able to snatch off, but then every day I was like kind of worried, man, I'm gonna run into this kid again, and I had to learn how to fight. And I remember like one time I was just like, man, he's like twice my size and big and fat. And I can't let this kid get me on any more headlocks. So then I started like watching like wrestling, and I started and I also like fights. Like I like boxing since I was a little kid. So I started watching like tape on like how they fight and techniques. So I remember that one time and I got really good at punching in the stomach, like taking the air out of people. Because no matter how big they are, if you land a good shot in the stomach, like you're gonna get the air out,
Right.
and they're not gonna be able to breathe. And I remember there was the next time, and I knew, like, I learned that the hard way though. I learned it the hard way, and I'm like, this kid is gonna come back, and I'm always gonna be scared. So like next time he comes, I practiced, and he came at me. He was gonna grab me, and before he grabbed me, I just punched him really hard in the stomach. And he was like, oh, and after that, like the kid never messed with me again. And then he was scared of me. And it was funny because I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna make this up. I was like 4.5 and this kid was like 5'10" or so. He was a big kid, and he was like a foot taller than me and big. So after that,
can see him
it was
doing that.
funny because this kid was so scared of me, and he was like way bigger than me. But every time that we were, and then it started becoming fun because then I would bully him. so then whenever I was walking with some of my friends, I'd be like, hey, here he is. I'm gonna punch him in the stomach again.
Oh
so
my
so
God.
this kid became afraid of me.
Wow.
But I learned those skills and that courage because I didn't have any option. I didn't have, like, I needed to defend myself, or else I would always be bullied. Same thing with English. Like, I had to learn English, and it's just
As a big one, I think that
challenges.
just comes with it.
challenges
The oldest.
challenges force you to be better, or they just force you to give up.
Right.
And that's what happened to me. I had to figure it out. Kind of like you came from you said you were born in Mexico, right?
Yeah, I was born in
And you came here when
Guadalajara.
you were 7.
7.
Yeah, so like you come here from Mexico at 7,
yeah.
you got to figure things out.
Oh, yeah.
You don't speak English, I'm sure, and
Yeah.
people
He
are
said, "Oh,
people
yeah."
are people are probably making less of you and telling you, you don't belong here. You're from Mexico. Go back to Mexico. Things like that. I don't know what you went through as a child, but that made me stronger. So then, but going to what you said, back to what you said, is like sometimes when you're born and you're protected so much, then you can't defend yourself, and you just stay average for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You become entitled, and you never
Yes.
get past that.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly. And it was actually a little bit difficult for me because the school that my
Yeah, but
dad,
if kids are watching this, like punch the bully in the stomach.
Use your words first.
Yeah.
my dad, the school that he put me in was a very wealthy school.
Yeah.
I went, to give you an idea, some of my classmates, they're the granddaughters of an owner of a very popular hotel chain. And so,
That starts with an H.
yeah. And so, yes.
Thanks, Maria.
And I had no chance at them. I mean, I had no chance, but it was nice. You know, so whatever. But yeah, my dad he was driving this old Dodge station wagon, dropping me off, and I was always proud of my dad. I was never embarrassed, but deep down inside, it kind of was like I would look at the other kids being dropped off in a BMW, Mercedes, whatever. I'm like, I want that. You know, I want to be there one day. And so, yes, the things that you go through, especially as a child, kids are mean, you know.
They are.
And,
Yeah.
and
They're a
then
reflection of their parents, though.
Ooh, I love
true,
that.
true. And so then that you add the fact that I'm the poor Mexican kid in a rich school.
Yeah.
You know that it just, but it made me stronger. It made me
Yeah.
a better person. And looking back, it's kind of like, oh, not bad, you know.
Like, for example, you have a boy and a girl.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have 2 girls. So it's even.
3 girls.
3 girls, yeah. So like what, like take a guess. Take a guess really quick, because I know you have a cool story how you guys met. So I wanted to end it with that. But
It's not that cool.
when one of our girls, like when Italia or Berlin, actually when Berlin comes to us and he's like, Italia hit me. What do you and don't mess it up. What do you think we tell Berlin when she comes to us crying, Italia hit me?
Hit her back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We tell her hit her back, and I'm like, what do you want me to? What do you? And it's the same thing. Like sometimes an employee comes, this other employee did this, and my answer is, did you tell her? Like, why are you telling me?
Yeah.
I'm not a triangulator, or I'm not a third party. Like,
Yeah.
did you tell them? Okay, go tell them.
Yeah.
So like when it gets in my nerves, it gets on my nerves when people they want you to fix the problem, like fix it yourself.
Eres la
So-
niñera.
Yeah. So Berlin comes to us, or she comes to me, and she's like, Italia hit me, and I'm like, hit her back.
Yeah.
And then she hits her back, and then Italia doesn't hit her again.
Yeah.
But then it's like, dude, fix it. But going back to you guys, like, so when you met,
So that we get close out, because we're
Yeah.
way over.
it's okay, but we have 4 people here, so it takes longer a little bit.
It does.
So, and plus we're enjoying some good champagne.
We are. And we had a great weekend at the event.
We
It was
did.
great. It was a great
fun.
event. by
I
the
was
way.
telling Albert, I really like them. They're super cool. You're super
Thanks.
cool.
Thank you.
It's like super fun.
Who's cooler?
Than me?
No, than that.
Oh,
Who-
than them.
Who's the coolest
who's
one of us?
cooler? Like
Me or
who's
you? Oh.
no, who's cooler, Amanda or Boris?
Well, Amanda, obviously. I liked you too. You're super
Oh, thank
cool.
you.
But I like her more because we're girls.
I get my second place ribbon right there. Albert, which one's cooler?
With?
You're going to say
But-
Boris.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with Amanda.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Done.
I'll
He's
take
like, I'm
it.
leaving.
Thanks. Cheers.
Yeah.
What I told you, it's ice cream.
But you're
That's like me.
you're very close.
You're
Oh, well,
very
yeah.
close.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that
He's
pat
like,
on
how
the
do I
back.
make this up?
Now, speaking of even more cooler, how did you guys meet? I heard you guys met at the club.
Gosh, we did meet
Go
at
with-
a club.
Oh my God, us too.
I'll let you tell the story.
Outside of the club, but
I'll let you say.
You
it.
tell the
What
story.
was
You can
was she
tell the
easy or
story.
not?
Define easy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. So We weren't supposed to go to this club, and this club, it was right next to the Farmer John factory where they're slaughtering all the pigs. So it smells lovely.
What city?
Vernon.
Oh, Vernon.
Yeah.
That's
Vernon.
like
Downtown.
yeah.
It's like
You know the
industrial.
building with all the happy pigs that
Yes.
they're slaughtering inside?
Oh, God.
Right next to it. It
was
smelled
really bad.
wonderful.
I was in a sorority. It was like a big sorority party.
So our two of my friends are like, we want to go to a bar. Okay. But our friend who was putting this party together for her sorority is like, hey, can you guys come out and support? We're like, okay, we're going to go see her, just support, show up, and then one drink, we bounce. Okay. So we're hanging out. And one of my friends, he disappears. And then my best friend from elementary. So he's I love the guy to death, but 2 drinks, he's done, you know? And so he comes
Sounds
over,
like Sil.
comes over with 2 girls, one in each arm. And he's like, I want you to meet the Amandas.
My roommate was also Amanda at the time.
And so I saw her. I'm like, oh.
Hi, Amanda.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Hi, Amanda number 1.
Yeah. And so we ended up hanging out the whole night.
Yeah.
Made her laugh.
Yeah.
You know, we hung out the whole night. So I had, you know, flip phone, the Razor flip phone. I thought it was cool.
I had a razor too.
Those were cool.
They were so cool.
So I'm like, hey, let me have your number. So she punches in her, you know, she gives me the number. I punch it in. I show it to her. And she goes, I'm like, is this it? And she's like, oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Put it in my pocket. We're gone. So the next day I was taking my parents to Vegas on vacation. And we stop at the In-N-Out at Barstow. And I'm like, oh, let me check this guy. You know, I had the 3-day rule. You don't call the chick for 3 days, right?
Yeah.
Did you have that?
No, I was pretty aggressive.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I you know, played hard to get. Anyways, I don't know why. Anyways, so I'm looking at this phone. I'm like, fuck, there's a number missing. This is not cool. So I call my buddy, and I'm like, hey, did you get Amanda's number? No, man. What the fuck? Okay, so I call my other buddy. Nope, I didn't get her number either.
Imagine if you would never find her again.
I wouldn't be here right now with you guys.
Life would be very different.
So I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. It's 1 digit. How hard can 1 digit be? So I'm driving to Vegas. You know, park my parents in their room. I go down to the sports book at the MGM and I grab a notepad and I start writing a bunch of numbers. And I'm like, it's got to be one of these. So I start calling numbers and, you know, I think I
You're like
dialed
playing the
3 or
lottery.
4. It was. And then I realized my 1 doesn't work. Apparently, I punched the 1 a lot. So I'm like, there's a 1 missing.
Somewhere.
So I finally hit the number and I call. And 2 days, like this is the very next day. So my 3-day rule, out the door. And she picks up and I'm like, Amanda? And she's like, Boris? I'm like, hey. I'll let you take it from there.
So when he asked me for my phone number, what he didn't know at the time is that I knew that it was missing a digit when I gave it to him and he showed me his phone. Because I'm a really nice person, I was supposed to be there with the promoter who was working the door at the time, so I felt really bad that I was giving my number out when I was supposed to be there with somebody else. And so the next day when Boris called me, I immediately knew that it was him and he wasn't lying about his story because he was like in so much shock that he was listening to my voice on the other end.
How
And
cute.
my first thought was, I'm going to marry this man. And 16 years later, we're still here.
Aww. That's cute.
That's awesome.
That's the story.
Yeah.
But the 1, like, how did he know where it belonged?
He did all of them, right?
He plugged it
So
in.
You figured out the 1 was the issue, and then
the
you
1 was the issue. So how did I figure it out? I just
Well, you
Well,
just
I-
put
plugged
it.
I
it
just
into
kinda
every
moved
single
it around.
after every digit. Yeah.
because you left it out on purpose.
No, it
No,
didn't work.
I-
No, she left
didn't
it-
tell
she-
him.
She didn't tell me that
didn't tell
there was
him.
a digit missing.
Yeah, I know, but she left it out on purpose.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, evil.
I gave him my number, but
His button didn't work. It's
his
not your
button
problem.
didn't work. And then what? I felt like that was a sign that I shouldn't have given him my number or something. I don't know. But look at us, baby. 16 years, honey.
19 together.
You ever
19
play? You ever
together,
play the
yeah.
lottery?
I haven't. No.
Oh, we suck at the lottery.
That's what
I never play. I know I'm going to win, but I'm going to start playing soon here.
You know, lotto tickets are a great gift for your employees. They get super excited.
Yeah?
Oh my gosh. Even the little scratchers, like, just hand out a lotto ticket at like Christmas time or holidays and stuff, and they get so excited about it.
For me, I'm like, oh, God, he gave
It's
me a
just that-
lotto ticket.
It's that chance, though, that you're going to win something big. It's like that.
What if they
hope.
win?
But then we look for a new
I'm
employee.
going to put a disclosure. If you win, I get half.
Then
Sign
they'll give you your
here.
dollar back.
No, like even when we go to Vegas, we don't really gamble. Like I'll take
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
like 1,000, and we play craps. That's
Yeah.
it. Everything else, like I have a friend who goes and like within 2-3 hours, he's got like $4,000 or
Oh
$5,000
my God, he's so
on
good. Yeah.
on slot machines, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. I'd rather go to a nice restaurant. I'd
He
rather.
always wins.
I'd rather
I don't
go-
know how he does it, but he's
Yeah.
so good at
So I just know what works for me and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Well, now that we need like a part 2 because it's been so long.
No, we're gonna have a part 2 when you guys are at 10 million.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Pressure.
So,
Let's do
but
it.
listen, to close out, unless you have something else to say. Yeah?
You're taking the lead.
I am going to take the lead because you talk a lot.
Ooh.
oh,
Oh, take the lead.
Okay.
I like it.
So, I don't know if you've ever heard this story because beside every great man's a great woman, like, period. Because these days, like you said, I would hate to date in this area. I do not, like, in this time, I think dating is a nightmare. Guys are shitty, girls are sluts. It's like, it's just it's like the wild, wild west. Like, really,
Yeah.
everyone's just all over and nobody's loyal. So how do you find a good one, right? But
Right.
Michelle Obama said, it's crazy. I heard this and I was like, that's so accurate. Whether you work together or not, a billionaire's best advice is to marry the right person, period. Everything else is extra.
Yeah.
So he said, they went into a restaurant because, anytime they eat anywhere, it's like full security. It's like crazy. So they stopped in some town where he was speaking or something. Turns out it was her ex-boyfriend's restaurant.
Wow.
And she got to talk to him or whatnot. And he was like, oh, look at where you would be if you would have stayed with him. She said, no, he would be president and not you. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But true.
That's true.
It's true. It's facts.
It's true.
A guy could be great, but men are easily derailed, easily distracted, and thrown off.
yeah.
I see a lot of wives who don't know what their husbands do for business.
Oh, no. I'll tell you what they do for business. That's not good. You should still know, even if you don't work together.
Exactly. I agree
That
with
way you
do.
understand their industry, what it
Yeah.
looks like, what it takes,
Yeah.
so that they don't lie and get away with it.
Or support them.
Right.
Yeah.
No, a lot of women don't.
They don't.
Yeah, that's why they end up divorced over and
I
over
know.
and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work to stay married. It's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah.
It's work, period.
Yeah.
Just
And
like dating is work, so it's like you have to pick your work, you have to pick your hard.
And then you add a business on top of that. And you
Imagine,
add
and
more
kids.
things and
and-
kids. And
There's always going to be problems, like Albert always says.
Yeah.
Either they're high level, low level, they're all problems ultimately. So we get better as we grow to be able to handle these problems in a better way.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Communication.
Yeah.
So where can people follow you, reach
Oh,
you?
yeah, that. On Instagram, I am the Amanda Palomino.
Mine is Boris V. Palomino.
Yeah.
And once again, our business is Palomino Residential Care. Got very creative with the name.
We didn't know we were going to grow, so we chose our name. We thought we were going to stick to
And we're
one.
really proud of you guys, and we're gonna
Thank
put all
you.
your
Thank you.
information below.
Awesome.
Follow them, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.